So running a little behind, are you?
Yeah, so apparently my computer decided it wanted to do an update 10 minutes before our show. So I had to wait for it to do that and then restart my computer, and here we are. But I made it. I was only, what, like 10 seconds late?
Give or take a few seconds.
You're so southern sometimes. You're like, bless your heart, you were 2 minutes late.
Oh, I try. I try.
Do I see a serpent on your shirt tonight?
You sure do. And
Well,
then if
I
you
have
notice,
my bug.
ooh, Bughead. I've got my Pops cup as well.
What else can I do? Oh, my Jughead Funko Pop.
So
So if you haven't figured it out already, we're talking about Riverdale tonight,
Riverdale season one.
season one.
Yeah, I just randomly started watching one of the
Oh,
episodes, like season one episode, and then next thing I know, I'm already in season three.
you're in season three already?
Yeah.
All right. Roll the
So
credits so we get started.
I forgot how much I loved season one of Riverdale.
Yeah. It definitely reminded me why I fell in love with the show.
Hmm.
Um, I have to be honest with you. When I went to watch the pilot of Riverdale the first time, like when it was on TV, I didn't really have high hopes for it. I was only watching it because Luke Perry was on it.
I thought it was going to be a fun, like little One Tree Hill type drama.
Oh, see, I was ready to be done with the CW. The Vampire Diaries was about to go off the air. I had nothing else tying me to that network. And I was like, I'm going to check this out because Luke Perry's on it, but whatever. And then I watched the pilot and I'm like, oh no, this is good.
Well, and they drew you in.
And then Dynasty came out, and then I got into Roswell for a little bit, and I was like, why won't they let me go?
I have aged out of their demographic. Well, you have. I
Luckily, I
haven't.
was able to drop Roswell. I'll probably go back to it eventually. But
Yeah, I've got to get back on that. There's a time in my life when I'd get too busy. I just couldn't keep up with, like, if you get 5 shows behind on a CW show, you have to wait till it comes on Netflix.
I don't agree with that because usually I like to accumulate a few episodes and binge like 4 or 5 at a time.
I'll
So
see. I'll mess up and think, oh, I'm just 3 behind. Oh, I'm really 6. Uh, and then I found out, well, oh well, I guess I'll come back later.
I started doing that with the Vampire Diaries because of their cliffhangers. I was like, no, I need to have like a bunch stacked up because I can't, my heart can't take this. So I would accumulate like 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, but for I don't know why I kind of stopped Riverdale. I didn't. I was still a fan. I just got behind and just kind of watched here and there and
I know
kept
I
up.
said this to you probably off camera at some point, but this show is definitely made to be binged. At the way that it airs on network television, where it goes on like a 2 week break or like a holiday
Mhm.
break or like 2 month break, like so much happens and it's so intricately woven that you need to binge this in order to remember what happened or like
Well, I'm not
what's
going
going
to talk about it, but I'm just going to use this episode as an example. Episode 21 of season 2 was so jam packed and felt like a season finale. I was like, oh my God, what are they going to do in the season finale? Like, what's this
on.
last episode going to be like if 21 is this just crazy?
That's how I felt about this season that we just watched, season one. I felt like season 12 was the finale. I was like, season episode 13 feels like a filler episode, but it wasn't. Other stuff happened. But so the basic premise of this season is the murder of Jason Blossom.
Who he's got to be the one character in television history that has been in like so many episodes but never has a line.
I thought about that today. I was like, has he never spoken a line? Do
Because
they
he
not
was
have
in
to
this
pay
he was in this episode I just watched in season 3, and all he was like a 5-second side shot. I was just like, must be nice to get paid to stand there and look pretty, I guess.
Did he look pretty or was he a zombie?
Oh no, he was just it was he was playing Clifford.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
Like a
it's
younger
the one where
Clifford.
they play their parents.
Oh, I was thinking about that episode today.
Mhm. It's good. But we're on season 1. We're on season 1.
Yeah, season one.
Um
Um,
it started with a bang.
it sure
Like,
did.
quite literally, it started with
Um,
a bang.
um, I always liked that Jughead was the narrator. Is he still the narrator?
Mhm.
Do they still do narration for the show?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm always down for like a good murder mystery. So
Oh, I am too. I love it.
off the bat, I was like, oh man, the show's gonna get me. I know it.
And I like
um,
that. I guess spoiler alert: if you haven't watched it, we will probably be talking about who killed Jason Blossom. So, bye. We'll see you next week. If you don't want to ruin it for yourself, pre-warning. Give you 5 seconds before I say something. All right, time's up. I thought it was interesting that it was his dad that killed him
this
because
show was dark to begin with, and then things like that made it darker and even
well,
bigger.
yeah, because the whole season they talked about how much Jason is just this, the golden child, the
And how they were
kind of
grooming
like the
him
blossom savior.
and how they were grooming him to take over the company. And
Mhm. Yeah, in this episode I just watched, the Blossoms have an issue with grooming people that needs to be talked about because they got issue. That family does have issues.
yes, so I don't even know where to begin. There's so much to talk about.
Well, I guess we could just talk about Archie according to Kevin, got hot over summer break.
She doesn't he say like you need to grab that redheaded bull by the horns and ride it or something?
I love Kevin. He is kind of a nice little breath of fresh air.
I love Kevin too, but I would get frustrated with this show with the gay characters. Spoiler alert: there's other gay characters later on.
What?
'Cause I felt like they were just like there. They don't really have their own stories. They're just kind of like side
Hmm.
characters or extras. I don't know if that's changed in the last couple of seasons, but I guess we'll see.
They get, I think, better storylines.
Good.
I feel like, I mean,
But I've always loved Kevin. Um, I liked Joaquin. Joaquin, right?
oh, Joaquin, he's so,
He's
oh,
so pretty, little Johnny
yes,
Depp looking Joaquin.
yes, oh, Joaquin.
I was so mad when they, spoiler alert, kill him. But
Um, no, wait, they don't kill her, Joaquin.
oh no, they don't.
He gets on a bus and leaves town. Um,
Yeah,
but he
yes.
doesn't. It's so funny. My mom watches it too. One reason she started watching it was she loved Luke Perry. She was like you, and she was like, "Oh, Luke Perry's in this. I gotta watch it."
I mean, your
Uh,
mom's the same age.
huh? Yeah, yeah. My mom
Me
is.
and your mom the same age.
Yeah, they're in the same age group. Um,
No, I said, are me and your mom the same age?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you just both look. I remember rest rest in peace when Luke Perry died. It broke my mom's heart. I think. Um, we went and watched that movie, that last movie he was in. Like he's in it for barely, he had a small part. Um, but we went and watched it just for that's the only reason we went to the movie to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Was
A lot of
because
people
Luke Perry.
texted me that day, people I hadn't even spoken to in a while, and were like, "Are you okay?" And
I'm
I was like, "No, I'm not."
I when I had missed a lot, but I watched that season 4 episode and was just when Shannon Doherty comes on there, she oh my gosh, my heart broke.
I
And
may have
now when
I
I
may have
watch
watched
it,
one or two after Shannon Doherty's appearance, and then I think I stopped after that.
I know it was funny. My mom and I were talking, and I was telling her what season I was on and all that. She's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I watched the episode of Luke Perry." She's like, "Oh, season 4 got dark." I was like, "Got dark? Can it get much darker?" It's like, "What do you mean, mom?" And then I was watching this episode in season 2 where they tell us the character dies, and she was telling me about this character in season 3, and I was like, "But he just died." She's like, "Oops." I was like, "No, it's okay." Now I'm just curious, like, how's he alive?
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, because this is a season 1 discussion, not a season 2 discussion.
Yes.
But I remember when
So,
I was like, "Mom, he's so pretty." No. um,
um, so my favorite character, I think, is Betty.
I was, we say I was thinking about this a lot. As more and more I watch, I love Betty.
I think she's the most consistent character as far as personality.
Hmm.
Some of the other characters, I feel like they flip flop a lot with like their motives and their loyalties. But she's pretty like steadfast in who she
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I would kind of say like I like Veronica, but she's my least favorite character, I guess.
I like
But
Veronica too. My issue with Veronica isn't specific to Veronica, but I feel like she flip flops. Like I feel like one minute she hates her father, and she's like he's an evil man, and next minute she's like I stand by my father and the family. Same with her mother. Her mother seems like she wants to get out of the relationship and like cut ties with Hiram, and then at the same time
Hermione,
she stands by him, and I just don't understand the flip flop from episode to episode.
I just think it's so interesting. The best people in this town are the gang members because the Southside Serpents are seem to be a lot better people than like Hermione and her Hyman. Hyman.
I mean, honestly, I feel like the Southside Serpents are one of the most interesting parts of the show.
It they make you want to be one.
Yes, I know.
I'm like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. I'm supposed to not want to be in the gang. Um,
So Kyle saw a Southside Serpent magnet on our refrigerator, and then I was wearing my hoodie that has the Southside Serpent logo on the back, and we both work in the same town, and he for some reason thought it was like the town that we work in's like lacrosse team. I was like, oh no, it's a biker gang. He was like, what?
when did you join a
I was like,
biker
it's not real, but like, yeah, it's a gang.
Oh, I love that. I've always wondered that people who don't watch the show, they see all these teens or our age wearing these Southside Serpent shirts. They're
I
like,
think what further led him to think that is because it's on the South Shore, so I guess he just in his mind was like Southside Serpents. It must be the lacrosse team.
mm,
I don't know.
that's interesting.
And then he didn't even realize the magnet, and I pointed to it, and he's like, "That's where I've seen it before."
Oh, so
But
I want to see if this season there was just a lot happened for our first season. What do you feel like was the storyline where you went like, what the F? Because I know what mine was.
um,
And it's not the murder of Jason Blossom or that his dad killed
it's
him.
hard to say like a storyline because I feel like the murder of Jason Blossom was the storyline, and then just like other things happened. Um, I
Okay,
really enjoy Cheryl. She cracks me up, but again, she's not the most consistent personality wise as far
well,
as
she's
her
Blossom,
loyalties.
so that's just
I feel like sometimes she's vulnerable and it looks like she's like leaning into maybe being friends with them, and then the next episode she's like queen bee, like does it like running the school.
Anytime she says mommy, I'm like, run,
Oh,
run.
that's when you know she's going crazy.
But the storyline that I think is most shocking is when you find out that Polly and Jason are cousins. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either, and something like that could make me stop watching a show. I'm not a big fan of
And
incest.
it's not just like they're third cousins or any kind of adjustable, like down the line cousins. Like they are pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Which is not Jason or Polly's fault. Their family had lied to, if
but
you knew they were
Cheryl's mother's reaction was like almost like pride. She was like, "Those babies are pure blossom," and I was like,
I was
"No,
like, gross.
no."
I was like, ooh, okay. The block.
um, kind of spoiler alert, but not really. One of my favorite things that Cheryl does, though, is going forward in other seasons. She refers to Betty like when she like comes up on her, she's like, or
Cousin.
if she needs a favor, she's like, "Oh, hey, dear cousin," like,
I know. I'm just like, who?
and then you know she's up to something.
I do like how, like, I feel like they've gotten closer. And I do like that.
um,
Not in season one, though.
no. Um, I really, really love Alice Cooper.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, I need to wait for Tommy to finish talking so I can say how much I love Alice Cooper.
She's
She's
so
my
tightly
favorite.
wound, and then when you find out, we don't find out this season really, but they kind of allude to that there was something between her and FP in the
Mhm.
season, and then we find out later on
That she's from the South Side.
that she's from the South Side. She's like the Julie Cooper of Riverdale,
She is. Oh my gosh, she is.
which I love. I love a Julie Cooper.
Well, they're the best.
She just seems like so tightly wound, and then you find out she has this whole edge to her. And I feel like there's an episode in season 2, I think, where it comes out that she is from the South Side, and she comes to an event in like a very slinky dress, and she
Yes.
walks in owning it with a snake around her neck.
And they're playing some. Oh, I wish I could remember the song they're playing, but it has one of those dramatic walks where the hair is just.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm living. You show them who you are, Alice Cooper.
um,
There's a scene in episode 2 or season 2 when she gets like right up in Hal's face and she's like telling him how it is. I'm like, ooh, okay, Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. Get it, girl.
so there's something that they do throughout the season with Betty where when she starts to feel anxious or she's
Oh,
like
her nails.
she like digs her nails into her does does that I feel like that just goes away. Like they never really further
They
address
talked about it a little
that.
bit in season 2.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I just didn't remember that. Um
Oh, before I
Obviously
forget,
I really enjoy her and Jughead's relationship.
they do have I wonder if they were planned to be put together or if it's because the couple, they were a real life couple at the time or became one.
They could have became a couple as a product of working together. Um that's happened a lot. And then they just had chemistry and they just continued to write for them. I like them because, like I've said before, I don't like to be told who's endgame. I like to see it naturally develop on screen.
I don't feel like, I mean, I guess in Riverdale, the TV show, they're pushing in game like a certain way. But the comics,
Kevin flat out says in the pilot, Archie and Betty aren't together, but they're endgame. He literally says it out loud.
yeah. I think that was kind of the new girl came to town. It's like, don't think you're going to get your hands on Archie.
I like that when she realized he was gay. He was like, and she's like, gay, and my new best friends. um, I like how they worked little things into it from the comics, like Smithers is in it.
Mrs. Grundy, even though actually Mrs. Grundy's like this older woman, but they kind of hint at her, like this Mrs. Grundy took her identity, and that the other Mrs. Grundy's actually
Older.
yes.
Yeah.
I love the names in this show.
Mhm.
Weatherby, Smithers, season 3. There's an Edgar, Ever, Ever Never. I'm like, I wonder how many takes are just them trying to get the names right.
Um, I think they did it towards the end of the season, but Jughead's known for eating lots of hamburgers, and they
Mhm.
finally gave him a hamburger, I think, at the end of the season. um, there's another point, I think, when Jughead gets arrested, and or they're questioning him, and they say, "Bet a kid like you was bullied a lot." He's like, "Yeah, my name is Jughead." I like stuff like that where they're like very self-aware and they like comment
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. One thing I do like about River, I don't feel like they take themselves very serious, or like they know they're over. Like I make fun of the speakeasy that comes around season 3,
Hmm.
but I'm loving everything about season 3 and about the speakeasy and all. I just like that Riverdale's not afraid to make fun of themselves.
I forgot that there was another Reggie.
Oh yeah, he had to. It was the same time as the 13 Reasons Why.
Hmm.
So when it got picked up, they had
Yeah,
to recast because
when I saw him, I was like, "Oh, that's right."
I was
Forgot about
thinking. Here I'm going to say I was thinking about this today. But I was thinking about this today. I couldn't see the first Reggie being the character Reggie's become.
it. Hmm.
I just don't see it.
Um,
This guy's doing a really good job.
was super excited to see Skeet Ulrich play FP. I thought that was a great casting.
I was
He looked like
really, really hoping they would have tried to found a way to get Nev Campbell as his wife. Just because I thought it would have been just fun.
you've seen who they do get, right?
Yes. I can't think of her name though.
Gina Gershon.
Yeah, isn't she from that movie Bound? Where
She's from Melrose Place. She was the one that recruited Sydney to go to Hope
Mm.
to become a prostitute. She
Funny.
worked at Shooters with Sydney.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But she's also in the movie Showgirls.
Mhm.
And she does odd roles. She pops up and she's a character actress. She pops up in a bunch of stuff.
It was funny. I was watching season 1 and Archie's mom comes on and John just goes, "Is that Molly Ringwald?" I went, "It is. She's she's Archie's mom and she's married to Luke Perry." Or well, yeah, I guess they're still married, just separated.
When she pops up in this season on this watch, I forgot that she comes this season. I don't she didn't show up until season 2. So I was like, "Oh, hey girl," when she came.
I've always liked her, so it was fun that they because I feel like Riverdale also plays with timeline or time and things like that because there's a lot of rotary phones or
I noticed
just
that
different kinds of stuff, but then you'll have a smartphone right there. So
I
I love
noticed
that they kind of play with time and things like that.
Jughead called Betty from a payphone from the Southside High. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, a payphone."
Well, it is South Side, so maybe they just have
Yeah.
that.
But still, where
I
can you find a payphone?
That's something that has confused me. Riverdale is this small, like picture perfect town. It's the town with pep.
For 75 years.
Is it is it that big that we need two schools?
Yeah, I'm not to talk about the OC, but I've been like going down like an OC rabbit hole listening to a few podcasts. And they were talking about season 3 and how Marissa had to go to Newport Union, which was like Newport's public school. And I was like, But isn't Newport supposed to be like the rich community? How come they had like a separate like public school? Were there poorer people in Newport? Like,
Gonna say because it's so
that's a
how they
little
live in there.
confusing. But
So I
yes,
mean,
that's what that reminded me of. Like, how big is this town?
yeah, I know I shouldn't read into things like that when it comes to a teenager buying Pops um, diner
I
and then
can't. I can't wait till Jingle Jangle gets into the mix. I like just saying it, Jingle Jangle. I told Jess that we were watching it, and she was like, "You better stay off that Jingle Jangle."
well, I'm hooked on the Jingle Jangle then because did I not just tell like the other day we were planning to do season one? I was like, okay, and I'm almost done with season two, so let's do an episode about that. And now I'm like, I'm 5 episodes into season three.
All right, I
So
like that you're watching because now it's gonna force me to watch it so we can talk about it.
I know, but what's funny is I get addicted to watching the stuff that's not on your to-do list.
I know, so I make it part of my to-do list.
I know, thank goodness. That's why we make a good team.
I was like, "Oh, season one, I can watch that in 2 days."
Well, clearly I can do that with season two or three too, because
um, I one of my other favorite things is the dynamic between Betty and Alice, and like the push and pull.
mm-hmm.
Um, Alice tries to be like that assertive, like overprotective mother, and I like that Betty kind of pushes back. And I think it was the dance episode where they were looking for Jughead after he like ran off. Um, she tried to get Betty to like stay home or whatever, and she was like, "I'm gonna go look for Jughead," and she was like, "No," and she was like, "Don't push me, Mom, because I will push back." And I was like, "Ooh, dark Betty."
I know you're kind of like you're a kid. You're supposed to, how you
And she
talk to
steps
your
she
kid.
steps aside to let her go too.
She's probably like, she is my daughter.
Meanwhile, back in real life, if I had done that, I would have got slapped across my feet.
Please, I wouldn't even have done that. I'd just be like, no, I'm gonna go to my room. I'm not happy about it. I just want you to know that too. And my mom would be like, okay.
So let you know I hate you. Um, what else? Oh, the sexual harassment episode with Chuck, and where they find out that there's a scorebook that the football team have,
Mhm.
where they
That
may
has
or
been
may not.
done in that has been done in another show, but I can't think of what it was.
Um, that did that introduce
Ethel
Ethel Mertz?
hmm
No,
Mugs.
Muggs. Mertz is that's I Love Lucy. Um, yeah, Ethel Muggs. That introduces her character, and it also introduces Dark Betty.
Girl went dark fast.
She
She
like
was
thought
like
she was Polly.
she was like Willow and Buffy, just like read a book, boom, dark. But it was
uh,
fun to see Dark Betty.
Jessica used to make fun of me because whenever I like Betty would start to get a little like edgy, I was like, "Yes, come on, Dark Betty," and she's like, "You are so obsessed with Dark Betty."
I'm not sure why they exactly call it Dark Betty though, because in a way she's just standing up against people.
She snaps a little bit though. She like was referring to herself as Polly.
Oh, that yeah, she did snap there, and she did try to drown Chuck.
She did try to drown him by like stepping on him.
Okay, all right, you got me there. I can always unvillainize. I do it with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Cruel Intentions. I'm like, Catherine is not the villain. She's misunderstood.
um,
Oh wait, that's season two. Never mind. Sorry, I got
really love
really excited about something.
Pussycats.
Huh?
Really love Josie and the Pussycats.
I do too. They have perfect. They have amazing songs. They're on my iPhone.
The whole relationship with Archie and what was her name? Val
Yes.
was so random
It
and
was.
like I don't know why they did that.
I don't either. What if it was just one of those things to kind of add some just a little bit of drama to kind of extend.
Also, as far as I know, doesn't Archie like never sing again after season 1?
Mm, no, he sings again, I think.
For what, the musical episodes that they do, or like in
He
general?
is in that one. Do they have a prom episode in season one? I've watched so much.
Yes, they
Okay,
did, and he sang the Clueless song with Veronica.
okay. I've watched 30-ish episodes, and now I can't remember which storyline is in which season.
Hmm, that's
Okay.
interesting. They can't find time to watch Knots Landing. I see how you budget your time.
I can't help it. I was just supposed to watch the first episode while I was working on something so that it was playing, and the next thing I know, I'm like this. I'm halfway through a season? What?
You could be halfway through with season 3 of Knots Landing by this point, but all right.
Mm,
Choices.
choices, priorities. Um,
But what else?
I will say though, anytime Archie's kind of being mean towards Fred, I'm like, he is going to die in 2 years. Be nice to your father. You get very dramatic.
I don't find Archie to be a very rootable character. I don't know. I have a hard time investing in him. I feel like he reacts emotionally.
Yes, he doesn't. Well, I mean, he's a teenager too, so I guess
Yeah,
don't you
which you
more with
forget when they're running speakeasies and like dancing on top of bars to join biker gangs and like which doesn't happen in season 1, but it does.
I sometimes forget these are teenagers, or supposed to be teenagers,
Yeah.
because they're living very adult lives.
And doesn't he end up running a gym? Like a boxing gym?
I'm only on season 3, Thomas.
I think that's in season 3. Maybe it's season 4. Who knows?
No, he's in juvenile detention right now.
Oh, they got him. He got.
Damn, Hiram.
Okay, so I had texted you earlier that the finale confused me.
Oh yes.
So I know this isn't a season 2 episode, but since you just watched season 2, maybe you could answer this.
Okay.
Hal is the Black Hood, right?
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Or is there
Yes.
multiple Black Hoods?
There's multiple ones, but I'm. I feel like Hal is like the main Black Hood, but he's not the Black Hood that shot Archie. I don't believe.
Okay, that was what I was confused about because I'm looking at
Um,
that and I'm like, there's no way that was Hal. I was like, and if they're gonna try and say that was Hal, they clearly did not know what they were doing with this before they shot it.
yeah, I was thinking that too because I was like, Betty's dad become is the Black Hood, but then they have that whole storyline where there's about the Conway family and things like that. And
I don't remember any of that, so I
okay,
guess I'll have to watch it.
it's pretty good. Um, but I like Tall Boy is supposedly one of the Black Hoods.
The Serpent?
Hmm. But I feel like
The one that gave Jughead the jacket at the end? That's Tall Boy, right?
he tall, long hair, like a
Yeah.
mullet.
Well, he was on the lower level of the stairs, so you couldn't tell he was tall, but yeah, he had long hair.
Yeah, so I think that's yeah. Those eyes definitely were not Hal's.
No, and that's why I
But I
was like,
wonder if it's one of those things where they're just like, no, well, we're not sure where we're. Because when they wrote that, they may have had discussions about. I'd like to ask someone who writes on Riverdale. Just
I feel like they didn't know.
like
The
I feel like
scene,
they were probably like, "No, what? We'll just make a second Black Hood." But this way, it seems like because they do mention who like that.
Okay. So much happens in this show. I was like, I think there's multiple Black Hoods. I could have made that up.
No, there's multiple Black Hoods, but I still feel like there's something I don't know.
All right, I'll watch it and I'll report back. um, I forgot that Fred gets shot at the end of the season. I thought that was a season 2 thing also. And when Cheryl fell through the ice and Archie was punching the ice, I was like, "Stop it! You're bleeding."
My hand hurt for him.
I know.
I'm so weak as a human. I'm kind of weak, so I'd be like, "Nice knowing you, Cheryl."
They film in Vancouver, right?
Yes.
You think?
Ooh,
Oh, bless you.
thank you. I can. Yeah, they film in Vancouver.
Do you think that was real snow?
Oh, yeah. There's
They were probably so cold.
yeah. Now I'm not sure how they did the lake ice scene.
I know, but do you think they were really outside and that was real snow?
I don't know.
Just because, like, throughout the whole episode, I felt like there was snow everywhere and it was actually snowing at one point. I was like, oh, they were probably filming this in like the dead of
See,
winter.
it's funny when you watch when I know something films in like Canada, I'm like, oh man, I don't think, oh, it must be cold. But when I find out something filmed in like Atlanta or North Carolina, and when you're a Christmas movie, you're probably filming in the summer. I'm just, I'm like, ooh, girl, or boy, like, ooh, I know you sweating underneath that jacket.
Or they have to film it a year in advance in the winter.
Yeah, that's
Um,
like when on the Drama Queens podcast when they talk about the humidity in their hair and stuff like that. I'm like, I feel you.
hmm,
I understand.
but
So, how would you grade this season?
A minus.
Okay.
Because, like I
Well,
said, there was um character personality inconsistencies.
okay.
Some of the episodes were kind of fillery. Fun, but fillery. So, not a perfect score, but A minus.
Okay. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Um, I was definitely addicted to it.
Oh,
The
most
first season
definitely.
is the only season that I think I've watched more than once. Like, this might be my third or fourth time watching it.
Okay.
I
It's my third time, I think.
I watched it when it was on TV, and then I definitely rewatched it when it came to Netflix once. So maybe this was my third time.
See, I watched it live, of course. Well, not live. I watched it when it was on TV, and then when I got the DVD.
The other seasons, well, season 2, 3, and part of 4, I've only seen once. I haven't rewatched it, so I remember like big things, but like I don't remember how we get there. So it'll be nice to kind of have a refresher, and maybe I'll understand it better binging it and not having to wait weeks in between.
See, I've always looked at their musical episodes. I think they do great with music. They really
Mhm.
do. I mean, I love how they take. It's not Glee way, it's more of a
They don't just burst out into song.
yeah, like they're playing somewhere or well, they do on the musical episodes. They're kind of bursting out into song, but that's different.
That's a special episode, though.
So I'm really looking forward to season threes because it's Heather's, and I love Heather's.
Did they do Carrie?
Carrie was season two.
Okay.
Season three is Heather. Season four is head.
Hedwig?
Yes, and season five I think is the next to normal.
They're still in high school in season 5?
Partly,
Oh,
Remember, COVID shut down season 4, so the first few episodes are kind of like prom and graduation, I believe,
oh, okay.
and then they do a time jump.
That good old time jump.
I know it saves saving high school dramas.
I think I just read season 4 ended in like the middle of October. Now season 5 ended the middle of
Hmm.
October.
And it's coming back, I
Coming
think,
back
next.
like next week for
Yeah,
season 5 or
yeah.
season 6.
I
6?
can't. I can't believe they're already on season 6.
I know.
Where does? Oh my gosh.
By the time I catch up, season 6 will be over and they'll be getting ready to start season 7.
Which will be the final season? No, I'm just kidding.
It could be. I don't know.
Well,
Do you know
I
how
don't.
well it does for the show, like the network? Is it like
Clearly, I mean, it clearly does pretty well if it's continuing. Um, I just wonder if the actors are ready to. Because sometimes in interviews, they kind of don't seem like. I've watched a few, or they're. I'm just like, okay, yeah, we know the show's crazy, but so was Melrose Place, and everyone loved it. So shut up. It's what makes the show. I mean, it's not supposed to be realistic. It's television.
I definitely because even season 1, it's there were a few things that were heightened. Like I
A
definitely
few.
was like, this is a comic book. Like I had to remind myself, this is a comic book. It's like a different universe, even though it's supposed to be reality. It's not really like it's a heightened reality.
I do like that the show is more diverse, though, than most
Mhm.
teen drama.
Yeah, I think this was one of the first shows that I noticed it was more diverse.
Yeah.
And this came out in like January of 2017, which means it was filmed in 16, probably most
Mhm.
of it.
Which a lot of shows really weren't like. You had Grey's Anatomy and shows like that, but teen dramas were still kind of.
And then the following season is when Dynasty started, and that's pretty diverse.
Love Dynasty.
And then I don't know. I feel like CW's shows, for the most part, maybe in the last 5 years,
Oh
have
yeah,
become more diverse.
especially since what's his name took over. I feel like the shows are a little more diverse and inclusive.
Like the originals, they were pretty diverse too.
Mhm. And we have shows now
Watch
like
the
all.
Vampire Diaries. The Vampire Diaries wasn't particularly diverse. They had
Mhm.
Bonnie, but that's about it.
Yeah, but now the CW has shows like All American, which I haven't seen that, but I hear it's really good.
Yeah.
And I know the little brother from Pretty Little Liars is on that, who's also on Teen Wolf. And he's
Roswell is a little more diverse than the original.
oh, that's
Charm.
mhm. And the girl from Hellcats is on um, Roswell. I love it. Did you watch Hellcats?
I didn't.
Oh, it was so. Oh, I loved that show. The only thing I didn't love about it was when in the pilot episode they're it's set in Memphis but filmed in Vancouver, and I'm just like, there are no mountains nowhere near Memphis. It's flat. I'm from that area. I was born an hour north of Memphis, so like there ain't no. It's flat.
Yeah, I with Hellcats, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch a show about cheerleading.
Oh, I was meant to be a cheerleader.
And that was around the time Revenge came out, and I was like, I'm gonna start watching more adult shows.
I always
I
say
told
that
you,
too, but
I've been trying to get away from the CW since One Tree Hill ended, and they won't let me go.
every time you're out, they bring you back in. Their
Like
shows were.
Gossip Girl ended like 6 months after One Tree Hill, and I was like, all right, I'm out. And then like, I think I was still watching Vampire Diaries at the point.
And then they get it's hard to get out. Hmm.
Sure is. I was thinking about it today. I was like, maybe if the CW ever cancels Dynasty, maybe Netflix will pick it up as like its original show and then continue it, and then I could
That
just
would
be
be.
done with the CW.
They have the Netflix has Sabrina. But
Did they
I'm really
cancel that?
They did, but she is coming on season 6 of
I did read that.
Riverdale, so I'm really interested to see how that is because she died in her show. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering how they plan on using her.
I kept saying I was gonna watch her show, and I never got around to it.
It's good. It takes a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to, your shows going around saying "Hell Satan" or um, not "Hell Satan." What are it's flip flopped. Like if they're saying "Oh my God," like "Oh my," or just they flip
Oh, I
flop
see it.
everything
Okay.
to where it's
Okay.
like if you're saying "Oh my heavens" or something, you wouldn't say,
Okay. Hmm.
it was a good, it was a good show. It was very interesting. The Oliver, who dated Kirby on Dynasty,
Okay.
he plays Satan or the devil in Sabrina.
Oh. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
You will. There's a few. It's fun when they talk about like Riverdale or they mention that world.
Hmm. I wonder how they'll work her in to Riverdale.
I think Cheryl's supposed to be getting into like witchcraft.
Of course she is. Why
I
wouldn't she?
I love Cheryl. She's just
I like her one-liners.
she does have the best one liners.
But all right. Do you have anything to add about season one?
No, I mean no, loved it. Glad it got renewed.
I just remember how like the first episode ended with the narration. How they said by like second period the next day the first suspect would be arrested, and I was like, well, now I got to watch the second episode. And then I think maybe the next episode ended with Cheryl being like, I'm guilty. And then the third one started with her. I know when I said I was guilty, you thought that I meant like that I killed him, but I didn't.
I do like to this teen drama. The adults have their own storylines that they also. I did like that.
They do, but I feel like that kind of,
It's lessening,
yeah.
but
Which happened with One Tree Hill,
happens to all teen dramas.
because then eventually the teens become the adults. So,
And they do a flash forward, and then the teens are the adults. They get to play their actual ages, or at least closer to their actual ages.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in season one that I didn't talk about. No, can't think of anything.
It has a little bit of everything, that's for sure.
I enjoy the friendships. One thing that I thought was cute was Archie and Veronica were a little nervous to tell Betty that they were a couple, and I loved how like it wasn't a big deal. She was just like, "Okay, that's cool." Where
Yeah,
on other shows that would have been like, "I can't believe you did this to
I
me," and
can't.
they've been
Yeah,
friends for a few
we're
episodes.
not friends anymore. You stole my boyfriend, who wasn't my boyfriend,
Yeah,
but I've just been longing for him. He's the boy next door.
but it'll be interesting when it gets to the seasons where Archie and Betty get together to actually see their chemistry
Hmm.
or their romantic chemistry unfold. Um, I don't know. I started season four and they kept having these flash forwards where they made it appear that Jughead was dead.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So I don't really know what happened there, but
I kind of do.
all right. Well, don't spoil it.
So, but no, that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in for our season one of Riverdale discussion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social medias at Queers and Soaps.
Leave some feedback on wherever you listen to podcast.
And next week, Monday, we're going to be talking about the web series called The Inn, which
Mhm.
starred the
Crystal
lovely and
Chappelle.
talented Crystal Chappelle. And then Tuesday, we're going to continue that theme.
That love fest.
And we're going to talk about Crystal Chappelle's um, love child, I guess if you want to call it, Venice, the series.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about season 1 of that show. So if you want to join us, you could watch The Inn on YouTube, as well as Venice season 1, I believe.
Mhm.
So until next week, have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.